and lay all the way back, nice and comfortable. Let the body start to take deep, full breaths. The body's relaxed here, especially settle into the state of the legs. Check in with it. Imagine it's like the framework, like of a house. Just check in with it. How is it doing? If it was framework, is everything set up in the 90-degree angle? Is everything screwed together perfectly? Is the foundation set? Just kind of check in with it. That's the image that we're working with. We're working especially on this low half of the body, the legs, the hips, the hamstrings, making sure everything feels really good. And by all the strengthening and stretching that we're going to do today for that area, just imagine it's like the little carpenter working on this area and the foundation layer working on that area, helping everything to just be really well established for your body. So with that idea to help lead us on, let's start off. The knees start to come into the chest. Take some easy movements for the hips, rubbing into the ground like a massage. Beautiful. So now drop the feet to the floor by the glutes. Hands are resting on the floor by the hips. We're going to take a few bridge poses. So roll the hips up, roll up one vertebrae at a time, and exhale, roll all the way back. Take a few cycles of that. Especially pay attention to how it feels when the hips are making contact with the ground again. Like let that gentle rocking pressure massage happen. So another 3 breath cycles like that. Notice how this is also starting to engage some of the strength through glutes and hamstrings. Lifting up 2. And 1. Beautiful. So take the right ankle to the left side. Let's keep the figure 4 stretch. Set up that hug around left. Give it a couple of breaths to relax into that right hip area. If you'd like to try to straighten the left leg up to sky, walk the hands behind the calf, or maybe even reach all the way up to the foot. Keeping that hip stretch at the same time that we now have a little bit of hamstring action going on. One more good inhale here. And then exhale, the hands release. That left foot goes back to the ground. Leave the right ankle up just a little bit longer. We're going to try a bridge pose with that ankle up. So lift up the hips. Take a moment to peek up at the hips. Try to keep them squared. So if you have to lift the right hip a little higher, go for it. We're just going to hold here a slow count of 10, 9, 8. So the glute, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax back down. Good. Uncross. Now take left ankle up. Figure 4 hug first. So those muscles ease into the shape. like to straighten right leg up. Start to walk hands up that side. Few nice breaths right there. Okay, setting right foot on the ground. Again, take that hip lift, bridge variation. Kind of peek up, make sure the hips are square. If you have to lift left a little higher, go for it. And feel this right glute trying to lift us up. It's mostly that area that's working here. So a couple of breaths there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the hips to floor, both legs up to sky. And we're going to do a couple of pulses. So both knees bend and then straight back up. Bend and straight. Trying to keep the feet as flexed as possible. Notice if you can feel the calf stretching just a little bit when you get to that straight spot right at the end. Take another 5 pulses. 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave the legs straight, legs go wide, hands come to the inner thighs. Just relax the thighs open. One more good deep breath in and out. Relax the legs. We're going to locate our blocks. We're setting our blocks under the feet, a nice medium height. Make sure they're set up ready for the bridge pose. So if you test it out, the feet are in place, just kind of feel if that's the spot that's just right. It's not too close, not too far. And then we're going to do a couple of bridge poses with that extra lift. So when you're ready, scoop the tailbone up, rise all the way up high. Feel how the glutes and the hamstrings can have even more activation for that lift. And lower. Good. Rise all the way up. And all the way down. A few more ups like that. Another 3. 2. 1. This one stay lifted just a little longer. Maybe the hands can clasp behind your back, walk shoulders under. See if you can feel the hips and the hamstrings, I guess glutes and hamstrings, really working to lift the hips as high as possible. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the hands, relax the hips all the way back down. Scoot one block off to the side. The other block, we're going to place right under the hips. A nice low height is fine. And we're doing a variation of legs up the wall with both legs extending upward from that block in that spot. So find the spot where the legs are practically floating. So sometimes that means the legs are tilted in just a little bit. Sometimes that means they're tilting back just a little bit, but there's kind of one spot where it just kind of stays for you. So give that spot a couple of easy breaths. And just imagine this here is symbolic of the framework of this house that we're building up. Easy breathing. 3 more slow, deep belly breaths. Imagine that's kind of like we're establishing that foundation, we're helping it harden. After the 3 breaths, the knees get to bend. Return the feet to the floor. Let's remove the block. And sometimes it feels nice to just kind of rock the hips back into the ground, helping that sacrum feel good after being lifted like that. A couple of easy rocking motions. And we'll do just one more hamstring stretch here on the ground. So slide the left leg long, right leg stretches up to side, grab on, try to pull it in. Lower this right leg straight to the ground. Left leg lifts up, grab on, pull it in. And let's do a couple of scissor kick switches. So float the right leg above the ground, and then as it lifts up, we grab on, lower the other leg, and switch back and forth. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Let's rock up to a seated place. Once you're up, take a nice cobbler's pose. Bottoms of feet together, legs open. Establish the spine lifting. Tilt it forward. Ultimately, relax. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of more strengthening things for the hamstring area especially, and then we'll take some time to do plenty of nice stretches. So this next one's going to be one of the challenges. The idea here is you're taking the blanket off your mat, off the front, and I'm just going to show it right here. You're going to have your feet up on that blanket. You're laying back, and then as you lift the hips up like a bridge pose, you're then sliding your feet partway out, and then trying to slide it back in. So if you need to take breaks, you'll just stay lifted in that bridge pose, pause until you feel like you're ready to go out. You can also make it easier by not going quite so far. Even just 3 or 4 inches out, 3 or 4 inches in is good. So take a couple of breaths. Nice and easy. Feel free to pace it out. Yeah, we don't always use our hamstrings like this. So it's a good strengthener.
It's the drawing in that's
I
can't even find the muscle.
Yep, that's the hamstring. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you drop your edge in, or you drop
You're trying to stay as lifted as you can. Yeah, good question. Yep. If you need a break though, just drop down for a moment and then lift back up and go into it. We're going to be here just a little longer, so take it at whatever pace your body is okay with. Good work. This one's a hard one. Maybe take 3 more if your body can take any version of 3 more. This is one to feel proud of yourself for afterwards. So don't worry, we'll get lots of stretching time. And last one. Good. Set the hips down. Good work. Rise up for just a moment so we can set up for one more strengthener here. So this one, you're going to put the block at the base of the mat. You're going to lay on your side. The top foot, so the bottom knee is just relaxing bent. The top foot, that leg is straight, and the inner part of the foot is in it. Don't worry, we'll do both sides. So if you want to face inward for the first side, that's fine. And then we'll face outward for the second side. But your top, yep, your leg is straight. Your top inner part of the foot is relaxing onto it. And then the idea here is, so elbow under shoulder, What you're trying to do is lift the hips up largely by pressing down. So you could just use the bottom leg and just relax here like it's nothing, but try to use the the top foot pushing into the block to help the lift. So we're gonna do a count there of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Flip around to the other side. The bottom knee is bent, nice and relaxed. Top leg is straight. Inner arch, and the part of the foot is there on the block. And then we're pushing into that. That's what creates most of the lift. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Set back down. Let's stretch our legs. So right leg opens out, left foot tucked in. Our right hand slides down the right leg, left hand reaches up and over. Turn to face your torso toward that right leg. Relax down. And then walk yourself through the center. Give yourself a couple of breaths right there. Nice and deep. Especially after that work we made those hamstrings do, let it relax. And rising up before we switch sides. Now slide this right leg to the center and we're going to stretch over there, directly forward. So circle spine up, relax forward. It's still early in class, but if the reach is extremely easy, come back up, grab your block, and use the block to make you have to reach a little further. Take 3 more deep belly breaths. And let's relax our way all the way up. Right foot tucks in, left leg opens. So left hand down the left leg, right hand reaches up to the sky, lean over. Bring your torso toward that straight left leg, relax down. Both hands through the center. And then his torso lifts up. That straight left leg slides to the middle. If you already know you need your block, take it. Or lengthening up, relax over. One more deep inhale. Nice exhale. Good. Gently rise up. Okay, we're going to come to a nice kneeling place. We're going to go back into a strengthening section of class. We'll do several things back to back to back that strengthen. And then ultimately pretty much the rest of class will be nice quick stretches. So just take a couple of cat cows, just engaging our spine, help everything to feel good, connected. Vertebrae go all the way up, all the way down, and 2 more. Beautiful. Now from a nice neutral spine, you're taking your right leg behind you. It's bent so that the foot is trying to go upward. And then we get into the glute nicely by pulsing up and down. So we're going to try for 25. If that's too much, just lower early. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the leg, tap the toes on the ground, and press back into a calf stretch. So as far as you need to press. I personally like to lift my knee. I'm pushing so far, but if you can get the calf nicely with the knee down, that's okay. Good. Lower, switching sides, left leg is up. Set up, and we're ready to pulse. Here is 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the leg, press back into calf stretch. Good. So transition to kneeling plank or full plank. Lower to the belly. We're going to keep the hands in that spot right under shoulders for now. Just a little bit of engagement of the upper back. But it's a similar action where the right knee is bent. And what we're trying to do is lift the right knee off the ground and slowly tap the knee back down. This one's only 10, so here's 9. Trying to lift the right knee off the ground, and right knee taps. There's 8. Nice and slow. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. We'll take a quad stretch in a moment, but switch sides right away. Left knee lifts up. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Relax the left leg down, slide the elbows underneath shoulders. Swivel the left hand in to prop you up. Right hand grabs right toes. Quad stretch. Pull those toes in. Release, switch sides. More deep breath in. Out. Good. Press back to a child pose for a moment. Let that spine decompress. Nice and long. And the back muscles feel good and happy. Downward facing dog. You're gonna pedal out through the calves. Make our way up to top of mat, forward fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands down to heart. Beautiful. Standing on our left foot, this right foot is going to lift just a little bit off the ground so the hip has to hike just a hair. And then we're going to just go back and forth like a teapot. Just gently tilt forward and tilt back up. And slowly, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then switch feet. We're standing on left. Hike the, standing on right, sorry. Hike the left just a little and tilt. Good. Rise. Here's another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And this next one will be the peak of the whole class. So don't worry, it'll be just stretching after this. There's different variations, so just do what you can do. I'll show you the full variation and then I'll give you some options. So at this one, you need both blocks and the blanket. The higher the blocks are, the easier it is to pass through, but also the more unstable it is. So if you need medium instead, that's fine. The idea would be that you're standing your hands on the blocks, sliding back to plank, slide forward and through, and then forward to forward plank. Trying to make it as smooth as you can all the way through. So it's going to be different amounts of reps for every person. The blocks can be different. And if you need some of the variations, the first variation would be just doing the back half. So just slide out, slide in. A second variation would be doing this on the knees and hands. So just slide out and then make yourself crunch in. So that's perfectly fine as well, if that's where your body's going to be happy. So it does feel unstable with the block, so don't feel like you have to.
So you're going to find sort of like a squat.
Like slide all the way. Yep. As smooth as you can, but it's also hard. So
You suggest a modification.
yep, use the modifications. Use the modifications. Nothing wrong with that.
What is the modification?
Oh, so back to hands and knees, and then you're crunching in and sliding out. Yep. So it'll still, you don't even have to use blocks if you're using the modification. Yep. So just kind of crunch in to slide in underneath you and just slide back out. Yep. So it's like doing crunches basically. I know, it's kind of fun, right? So again, it's using that lower body in ways that we don't always. Yep. Hop out. And sometimes when I get to this spot, I have to readjust the blocks to be behind me to slide forward. So that's okay. And then just bump back.
I think the trick is to figure out the width of blocks. Because it's trying to figure out where the body is in space.
Exactly. Yep. So maybe if you're doing the full thing, try 2 more sets. If you're doing others, just keep going just a little bit longer. Take breaks as needed. If you need to even pause to roll out your wrists, that's okay. Just at this point, what I would do is just walk your blocks behind and then just straighten forward. Yeah. Yep. Go back. 1 more just for fun. Good. And then when you're done, good work. Let's go back up to standing. So you can have blocks at your sides if you like it for pyramid pose. You don't have to if you don't want to. So let's have left foot forward, right foot slides back. Hips are square forward. And then we're just taking a nice pyramid pose breathe. Just relaxing over that left leg. Just breathing. Feel that heart rate. It picked up a bit. So maybe imagine that's like, I don't know, doing some part of the construction that's really hard. It's like the hammering or the screwing or I don't know what, laying foundation or something. And so now we just get to enjoy the fruit of our labor. Just enjoy this wonderful structure. Just finding beautiful length through the framework. What we're going to do is make it comfortable to head into a calf stretch from here. So if you need to bump the right foot forward about halfway, that's fine. The right knee can be bent if needed. And then you're trying to lift up the whole ball of this left foot. Leaning forward into it. Beautiful. Setting that foot down, bend the knees, roll your way up. And we're going to step the right foot forward, step the left foot clear back to the pyramid shape. Make sure the hips are still square forward, both heels are on the ground, and continue to relax. Bump your, we're taking it to the calf stretch. So if you wanted to bump your left foot forward about halfway to make it easy to lift up the right ball of foot, take it. If a different position feels just as useful, take that as well. The left knee can be bent if needed to make it possible. Beautiful. Soften both knees. Roll the spine up. Step your feet wide. You can face the center of the room. And let's start to relax into a nice wide angle forward fold. We'll walk our hands closer to the right foot. Bend the right knee. It's either a high lunge or a slow side lunge. So you choose the quality too. Sometimes people are in a balance mood, feeling that structure, lifting you tall. Sometimes we're in more of a deeply settling mode, kind of trying to relax down to elbows or even elbows on blocks. Anywhere in between, whatever feels helpful. Good. Straighten through both legs, transition through the center, and then take it over to the other side. So same quality, maybe balancing or maybe forward folding. Good. Back up to 2 straight legs. Relax deeply. Toe the feet in once. Relax into that new shape, slightly new muscles in the stretch. Heel toe in again. And heel toe your feet in under the hips. Bend to the knees, slowly roll the head up. We've been upside down for a while. And walking back up to the top of the mat. Take a nice back bend as we circle arms up to sky. Inhale. Exhale, forward, fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands drop down, travel back. This way, elbows down, dog Laura. Oh. Good. So from here, we're going to practice half splits. We're needing to step the right foot forward. So if it feels nice to lengthen right leg up to sky briefly, and then send that right foot in between hands, that's fine. At that point, you'll lower down onto your back knee. If you want your blanket under your knee, that would add some padding to that side. So you've got lots of variations that you can play with here. So first variation is just an easy half split, a block under each hand or not, lean forward. From there, if you wanted to go deeper, slide any amount forward. And the third variation is what I love when I have 2 blocks. I'll slide a block in under my hamstring so I can sit on it. That one allows my spine to be more lifted while I'm in the split stretch. So choose your variation. Don't feel like you have to push it too far because we're going to stay for a little bit longer than normal. But just relax, a couple of easy deep breaths wherever you are in a comfortable spot. About halfway through, so keep breathing. One more deep breath in and out. Start to slide yourself back over your center. As the right leg comes back, sometimes it's nice just to shake that hamstring out. Other times it's nice to go into a down dog and kind of wiggle through everything. Whatever feels nice, take it. Whenever you're ready for second side, left foot will come forward and through. Back knee can lower down. Maybe we're on easy half split, leaning forward. Maybe blocks are under the hands. Maybe we slide a little bit forward. Maybe we're sitting on a block. We've got lots of options. Find a spot that feels comfortable and help. We're about halfway there. Keep breathing. Deep inhale. Exhale. Start to scoot your weight back. Maybe you're shaking out the left leg. Maybe you're taking the down dog. Whatever feels good. Beautiful. So lowering to knees will explain the next options. You've got two options here. This is going to be a pigeon pose. So you could just do a normal pigeon pose on your mat. The second option I'm offering for today is to scoot your mat back to touch the wall so that when you're in pigeon pose, your other foot is lifted up on the wall. That adds a nice quad stretch aspect to it. So either way, pigeon pose or pigeon pose against the wall, back knee lifted. Yeah, usually what I'll do is set the first leg up kind of like a pigeon, so already swiveling in, and then I'll start to work on like just scooting my back knee backwards until it's about there. Good. So you can stay lifted if you like. If you're against the wall, maybe you're even grabbing both hands to that foot. You've got options. Sleeping pose, sleeping pigeon pose is also just fine, relaxing forwards. Whatever feels good. Breathe into it, give it space. About 3 more breaths on this first half. We'll take a moment to transition to the second leg. So perhaps scoot yourself so that knees are underneath you again. Maybe wiggle the hips for a moment. No rush, but whenever you're ready for the second side, slide right into it. About 3 more deep, slow belly breaths. And a recovery moment. Perhaps getting knees underneath you for a moment. Wiggle the hips, hip circles, anything that feels good. Cat cow. On wiggling as long as you need, and when it feels good, We'll take the last couple of minutes with legs up the wall for class today. So if your mat's not already touching the wall, feel free to scoot it all the way in. Remember the little trick is that if you get your glutes to already touch the wall, so you're kind of like a side saddle, then when you lay onto your back and swing the legs up, you don't have to do that game of shimmying closer and closer. So the first, this will be about 3 or 4 minutes here. So I'll give you different variations that you could play with, but intuitively, if you know you have favorite positions for legs up the wall, just take them. For instance, with the legs straight up like this, it could be nice for me to bring your blocks to you so that it pushes the heels a little further away. Basically, that increases the hamstring stretch here. That's one option. Legs wide is another option. Legs in cobbler's pose is another option. So just kind of play back and forth, whatever feels good. If you need me to bring your blocks to you at any point, just kind of wave at me and I'll be right by. But just whatever feels good for the next 3 or 4 minutes, use whatever versions of legs up the wall is helpful. Deep, slow breathing, especially connecting back to this very foundation. Imagine it's like this is where the beauty of the architecture is starting to come in. Those nice 90-degree angles are set up. Maybe even intricate triangles getting established, archways. We've got this foundation, the hips touching the floor, and then the legs building up to the framework from there. So more or less, we're about that time we would normally start heading to Shavasana. So know that if you want your legs to be up the wall the rest of Shavasana in all these variations, that's absolutely fine. If you want to stay some of the time with legs up the wall and then come down to a different variation of Shavasana later, that's fine. It's not picky at all. It's just listening to this lower half of your body and asking it, what can I do for you? What would be beneficial for you? Just adjusting accordingly. Again, if there's anything I can do, grabbing your blocks or anything, just wave at me and I'm happy to turn. That's okay, I think it. Yes to Santa. You got it. I think you worked out. Begin to deepen inhales, deepen exhales. Introduce little movements to the body. The next minute or so, just to stretch out in ways that feel good and helpful. Maybe spending some time in a nice fetal position, letting that nice rush of blood flow into the legs, refreshing that area. Perhaps 3 or 4 more good breaths until you feel ready to rise. With hands at the heart, we mentally tune into legs, hips, hamstrings, glutes, that whole area. And imagining that as the foundation and the framework of the house. Just imagine all the possibilities with that foundation and framework set very powerfully and just wonderfully stretched as well in the ways that we have. Just imagine the beautiful mansion that can be built around it. So with that image to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, and happiness, and peace. Namaste.